What is up, guys? Welcome back to A Cup of Cinema, where we review movies we watched the night prior while enjoying a cup of coffee. So, how's it going, babe? How's your morning been?
Great. We went camping last night, so feel relaxed. Got out of the city.
Yeah.
Went and grabbed a coffee on the road home. Yeah, it was really good. How was yours?
Yeah. It was the same as yours. Because I was with you the whole time. Yeah. Yeah, so we set up a camp spot last night. We just went out after work. She found a really good quiet spot in the forest on Crown Land. So we pitched a tent, had a great night there, and we won't... Yeah,
so I was going to say we didn't bring anything, so we didn't bring food or anything.
Well, we
were only
brought
there.
Food, not coffee.
We did, but we didn't eat any
Not a
food.
lot of food, no.
We were only there for like 12 hours.
Yeah, it was a short camping trip just to get out into the wild a bit, which was nice.
And we forgot coffee, so on the way back, we stopped at Labor Day Picnic Cafe.
Yep. So that's what we're drinking this morning. So we're going to be skipping our coffee segment. But their coffee's amazing. I really enjoy their coffee. They're not in Halifax, a little bit out there, like 20 minutes.
St. Margaret's Bay, I think. Yeah. And they use Espresso 46, which is... I don't think we've had it on the show yet, but we
were there the other day.
We actually went to Espresso 46. It's in the north end, I think, technically. Yeah,
run
really
by
good
an
spot.
Italian.
Very Italian. Yeah, good stuff.
All right, so we're going to be breaking today into segments, as we usually do. We got the coffee, we got the news, we got the plot, we got the actors, all that fun stuff. So we're going to start with some movie news in the movie world. Not a lot happening this week, but... So I watched Mad Max Furiosa. We're not going to really do a review on that. She's not really into the new Mad Max movies. But the new one was okay.
Are great.
Yeah. We'll maybe do a review. Maybe we'll watch all of them and just do a comparison between old and new. That'd be pretty cool. But the new one was pretty good. I wasn't hating on it. It's getting a lot of hate, but I thought it was okay. But,
I wonder why.
Yeah, I know, right? But an interesting fact is that I find it's funny that Garfield the cartoon. There's a new cartoon movie Garfield out, which I kind of want to watch.
There was.
It's beating Furiosa right now. So
I would rather go see Garfield.
Kind of hilarious how that is. I think it's also to do with like Garfield's a family movie, so like
it's easier
for
people to go
the dad,
watch.
The kids, the cousins, the whole family's going, right?
Versus
like,
this, you go with one other person. You're not bringing
your 7-year-old to Furiosa, you know?
Yeah.
So but yeah, Garfield's beating Furiosa right now, which I thought was just like, oh wow. And you haven't seen this yet. I guess I'll show you now. But the Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket is talk of the town right now.
Why?
Okay, so let's just show Acacia the Deadpool Wolverine popcorn buckets.
Are you able to put it on the video? So
yeah, I'll throw a picture of it on the thing. But what do you think of the Deadpool Wolverine popcorn bucket?
Wait, so when you're holding it, does it just fall into your lap? Like, I don't understand.
I think this is going to... Yeah, I don't understand either. And they got the butter dripping down his nose into his mouth.
Like it's...
It's like that, so it's upside down like this.
Oh.
Yeah, so you have the bucket in between your legs.
My
and
immature
you're just
brain thinks it looks really inappropriate. But
it's supposed to be, though, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Deadpool.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that's Wolverine. Wolverine's not inappropriate, right?
It's a Deadpool movie, though.
Oh,
and, it's his movie, so he's making
that
inappropriate.
Then it's really clever.
Yeah. I think, so they got the idea from, what I've heard, is from Dune, because of those worms.
Oh, yeah.
The mouths and stuff. That's where, like, he got the idea.
Okay.
So...
I like that. It's
Ryan Reynolds he's quite the guy. Like, I
like when people just do weird shit because they want to do something different rather than just being like, oh, we got to play safe, we got to do this and do that. It's like, frig off.
Ryan Reynolds
give the people what they want.
Doing Deadpool really pushed it. Like he is giving the people what they want.
Wait, does he direct it or something also, or is he involved?
Yeah, he's heavily involved. Deadpool 1 was never going to get the light of day because it was rated R and they always wanted to be rated PG-13. So Ryan Reynolds supposedly put his own money into the movie to get Deadpool 1 going.
He believed in it.
Yeah, and he's the one who he had a lot to say in the costume. He's pretty much wrote all his dialogue. Like a lot of the dialogue is from Ryan Reynolds, so huge part in the movie. So yeah, that's our movie news for this week. Again, not too much happening, but Garfield's beating Furiosa and the Deadpool Wolverine popcorn bucket. I'm probably gonna buy one. I'll probably buy Deadpools, see if I can get my hands on one. I think they'll go pretty quick, but I don't think the theaters... I think I have a better chance in the Halifax theaters than in the Toronto theaters to acquire that popcorn bucket. So, and if Alien Romulus comes out with a popcorn bucket or even a cup or something, that's a definite buy. Can't wait for that one. All right, boom. All right, so let's start with the Blair Witch Project from 1999. So,
that's when it came out?
Yeah, it came out in 1999. It started with a budget of $60,000, and after editing and all that, it was around 300 to 700,000, and they made a profit of 248 million. So,
wait, how does
you can easily say it did very well.
Definitely. How does it go from? How does their budget? Wait, so did it cost 60,000 and then someone was like, "This is great, let's do a bit more of it," and then it cost more, or was their budget 60?
I didn't understand
how'd they get
either.
that money?
Yeah, that's what it said on the internet. And if you look it up, you'll see the same numbers, which I didn't really understand. So the 60,000 was filming, so cameras, film, actors, production, all that type of stuff.
Sense.
And you like even 60,000 seems like a lot because it was just 3 people in a forest.
Yeah, I guess you got to think about.
And they had a few actors in the beginning, but that's pretty much.
You got to think about like
the
travel expenses, food. It probably took a long time.
But
like
that's
a
another
month
weird
or
thing too. It's like, it's crazy that they had such a big crew because it looked like it was legit just shot on
because it's done
1,
so
2
well.
cameras. Yeah, it's
everything
just done so
nowadays,
well. Yeah,
you could tell that there's like a whole team.
Yeah,
fine, I guess.
It really didn't seem like there was a $60,000 team creating this movie.
But that makes me question it if it ended up costing as much as it says. Like, are they just trying to make it seem like they had a small budget so it seems even more amazing?
Yeah, like after
I mean?
like if you search up the actual budget, it says 300 to 700 on Google.
That's super vague though. Like
so then when I did more research, it said that the filming was 60,000, and then everything else after the filming came out to roughly 300 to 700,000.
That's crazy. How can editing that?
There was a lot of weird marketing though. Like, well, there's marketing too and all that.
I was a child when they were marketing it. So
they had a super crazy marketing scheme where they like was telling people that these actors were actually missing. And they created a whole stir.
I remember hearing about
They were giving away posters with their missing faces on them during a film festival in 1999. Yeah, so it was pretty crazy. And another cool fact is that Heather, Michael, and Joshua, the 3 main actors, they all used their real names in the film. Heather.
Well, then people probably who know them were actually like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's another fun fact. We're getting into the fun facts already, but that's another fun fact is that Heather's mom was receiving mail
I think I remember
for her missing daughter.
Yeah.
So, they did a really good job in the marketing for this movie. I wish we were still allowed to do that type of stuff, but I don't think so. I think you'd get hit by a serious charge. And you know what? Yeah. Maybe some of the money here was towards legal fees.
Yeah.
Legal fees, right? So the Blair Witch. So the main actors are Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard. They used their real names for the film and were actually pretending like they went missing. So that was like a huge thing for the Blair Witch Project when it first came out. I looked up the 3 actors and I didn't see much about them after this movie. They don't really have a heavy acting career. Joshua Leonard looked like he had the most movies under his belt, but nothing I was really... I didn't know much of them, so I was like, I'm not going to name any of these. Michael C. Williams just did a couple things here and there. It's funny, though, because all 3 of their names sound very... Like, I know their names very well. Like, I'm like, oh, Heather Donahue? She was in I think she's in so many movies. But
really? I don't think that. I see their faces and I think they are, just because I've seen this movie so many times as a kid that I'm like, I know them. I've seen them all the time, but it's just because of this one movie. Like, especially Joshua. I don't know why, but he has such a,
He looks familiar,
yeah. He stands out for some reason.
So another cool fact is that Heather Donahue, after the movie, she changed her name to Ray Hentz and became a medical marijuana grower.
Did she change her name because of the movie and the backlash of, the marketing and stuff?
No, I think...
Or she just wanted to, cut herself off from it?
I don't know. Truthfully, she got into medical marijuana growing at a time when... It was really in a gray area, so maybe that could be why, but I didn't see a reason as to why she changed her name. It just said after the movie was made, she changed her name to that and became a medical marijuana grower. So, kind of different, cool fact. But yeah, there's a couple of cool facts before we start talking about our opinions of the movie, if you want to hear a few.
Sure.
So lots of the movie was improvised, and you could kind of tell that that was the case. The actors really didn't have... dialogue written. It's just like you're in the forest, you're lost, and there might be a witch after you. Go. And they were just like, all right, let's do this. And they did a really good job.
Yeah, very convincing.
I was reading that Michael C. Williams, he was supposed to be the first one to actually die, but they switched it to Joshua because Joshua and the other two were arguing a lot on set with each other. So Joshua was actually happy to be the first one killed off and to be leaving. I don't know, again, if that's true or not, but it was in these fun facts that I was reading about for the Blair Witch Project. They used their real names. The famous scene of Heather screaming in the camera, the one we watched not too long ago. That close up,
the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. But we were going through some of the scenes this morning, and remember that close up scene that you saw? Yeah. So that wasn't intentional. So she didn't know that the camera was zoomed in that close. So she was like right up to the camera, like saying stuff, and then the director and the cameraman were like, "Oh no." Like, this isn't going to be good footage. Like, her nose is, like, so right there. But they kept it because of that reason. Yeah, it was, like, so hyphened.
I know we're talking about our opinions later, but I just feel like I have to say it now or I'll forget. But, like, I feel like if that was done now in a movie, it would be so, like, especially if it's a woman, you know, it would be the whole, like, your hair's done properly. And, like, you'd have tears, but you'd be pretty and you'd be like, I'm so sorry. Yeah. You know, it would just be, like, very meticulously done versus this. It was more just, like...
It was real.
It was like this, and it was like more realistic.
Very close, very real. And you know what? Bringing that fact up, it reminds me of like Immaculate. When we were watching Immaculate, how movies kind of like make these actors / characters still look beautiful during bad scenes. Like
super annoying.
When she at the end when she's having her demon baby and all that, like. She looked clean. You know what I mean? Like, now that I remember, she looked clean. As for when you see Heather, she's like, oh, mess.
But that's because, like, no offense to Heather, but this the other person in Immaculate is, like, a gorgeous person. Like,
Sweeney Todd, yeah. Or Sweeney Todd. Or Sweeney, Sydney Sweeney or whatever.
Yeah, like, she's a 10 out of 10. So, like, of course, when she's upset, she's probably still even going to be a 10 out of 10. Like, this person's more normal looking, you know? Like,
but the snot dripping down the nose and the eyes just being bulgy red.
Even if Sydney Sweeney had snot dripping down her nose, you know she'd still...
No, it's not about being sexy or not sexy. It's just about the realistic look at the time of what the character is going through in the moment. I find films back in the day really pushed that emphasis on face expression and just dirtiness and real emotion.
But I also feel like they used more normal looking people. Nowadays, you just don't see normal looking people.
Yeah, and they're like really acting. But
and yet she didn't look like she was like trying to be upset. She just had tears and it's not, you know.
Well, that was another thing.
Like, I don't know.
No, I get that. Like another thing with the movie was that the director really pushed for these 3 actors to be scared, like genuinely scared during the film. And you know what? You're out in the forest. You have a couple of people filming you, and
it is kind of scary inherently.
Yeah, especially when it gets dark and you're filming in the dark and all that. Definitely. And another fun fact was that they were only given the things that you saw them eating on set, bars, bananas, and all that. That's what they were eating for 8 days. Yeah, I don't know why. But
I guess because it puts you more in that mindset.
You're getting hungry, tired.
Yeah, then you're hangry. You're like,
and that's probably why we got that acting at the end. Yeah. Because this film only was taken in 8 days. Took 8 days to film. So if you do like kind of deprive them from nutrition, by the 8th day, they maybe do get a little bit, not hallucinating, but they're really getting into the role of like, holy shit, there's a witch chasing me.
I can't think of another movie off the top of my head, but there are movies where the actors say like, I was out in the cold for 12 hours, all just wearing that outfit, like let's say in the scene they're wearing like a tank top and like shorts and they're out in the cold, and sometimes they are in that situation and it makes it more realistic because they are in that situation.
I agree. So yeah, that was like another pretty cool fact that scene became so iconic, and not just iconic, but it became the theatrical poster. That's how like it's insane how a mistake can lead to something so iconic in film history. Like, you know what I mean? This isn't just like a movie where it's like, this is like one of those iconic pieces of film that changed the whole game, right?
I feel like just more real, raw experiences are gonna come off that way.
So a lot of people, before I watched this movie, or like I've watched the movie 100 times, but I was just listening to some podcasts about the movie before we rewatched it, and a lot of people were like, oh, the Blair Witch was the first found footage. That's not true. And I knew that wasn't true. I just didn't know what the first found footage was, but from what I was doing the research, I'm pretty sure Cannibal Holocaust was actually the first found
Cannibal
footage.
Holocaust.
Yeah. Oh, watch your hair with the microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah, the first found footage was Cannibal Holocaust that came out in the 80s. It's like they find that footage of like that crew that goes to an island and I think they try recruiting them into Christianity or something like that, and then the people on the island like kill and eat them. And that movie was crazy because that movie has a whole.
I've never seen that. I want to see it.
Well, that one was another one that went through the ringer with court cases and all that because people actually thought that those actors were dead. The whole crew went to court for it, and it was a whole thing back in the day. But
would you watch it again? Or
yeah, we'll definitely do a watch it. It's super gory, and it's a lot more realistic looking. I watched it a long time ago when I was a kid, but I remember it being super realistic. And when I watch movies now, I'm like, man, I miss practical effects for that reason, you know. But yeah, it was definitely still a milestone though in found footage. Like it pushed the boundaries for found footage. Like Cannibal Holocaust was good, but I don't think it made the imprint that the Blair Witch Project.
It was also probably too gory if you say it was as gory as it was.
It was, yeah.
It's just too much. Whereas this is like a bit more palatable.
Yeah. Like exactly. Like I remember the Blair Witch. Like everybody, around my age, growing up, was always talking about the Blair Witch. Whether you were like 10, 11, 12, 13. Like I think I watched it when I was at a sleepover at like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, but same. I watched it when I was like 7 or 8.
Like I only watched Cannibal Holocaust once when I was like 16, 17. And I don't even know a lot of people who have ever watched the Cannibal Holocaust. Because when I bring it up, people will say the same thing. Like, oh, I've never seen that movie. And it's funny how like something... They're not similar, but one's just a lot gorier and more mature, right?
Every single time we'd go camping when I was a kid, which was multiple times a summer, every single summer, my dad would threaten
the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, well, it's a good one. It'll keep you close to camp.
It's out there.
Yeah, that's a good way. I know, like if you do that now and you get caught, you'll probably get thrown in jail. But
no.
Back in the day, when parents could actually be parents. So another cool fact was that the witch was actually supposed to be in the film. So when they're running near the end, the cameraman was supposed to get a shot of somebody dressed as a witch. They were wearing like a ski mask or something, and they were supposed to be in the back of the shot, and the cameraman missed it. And supposedly with the time periods that they had, they were just like, whatever, let's just keep on going. Yeah. We're not redoing the shot, like, because I guess they tried it a couple times and they just couldn't get what they were looking for, so they left the witch out.
Thank God.
And yeah, that made it more iconic as well. Sometimes. Yeah, so that was another mistake that led to the film being what it was, because that one piece of footage could have maybe ruined the whole film. So that's another cool fact. They released a 45-minute documentary / mockumentary, I think they're called, on the Sci-Fi Channel called Curse of Blair Witch before its release. So that got people like hyped to kind of see it. They didn't know that there was a movie coming. It's just like there was this 45-minute documentary on the Blair Witch, and people watched it, and then boom, 3 missing kids in that atmosphere. Yeah, that's
so wild.
Yeah, they did a really good job. Marketing was insane. IMBD listed the actors as missing or presumed dead for the first year of its release.
What?
Yeah, so that's pretty insane as well. And I did a lot of research into this one. This one was actually hard to find, but the real myth is about Ellie Kedward from the 1700s in the town of Burkittsville, Maryland, which it wasn't called at that time. But supposedly it was about this young woman who the town thought she was a witch. The story goes that they dragged her into the forest and burned her, or just tied her on the tree and left her there to die. And that's where they get, I think, all those tree.
Fair. When
things.
I think of like witch things, I think of like Maryland.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a.
I remember when I was younger, I did a lot of research into the Blair Witch because I was super into it, the conspiracy behind the Blair Witch, and knowing that everything in this type of field comes from real events, and then they create it into their own little myth. But there was always, the directors, the actors, or the director, the writer, they heard something that created this, right? And Maryland has a lot of myths around it. But there was another one that I heard a while back, and I couldn't find it on Google this time around. But I remember reading that there was a serial killer near Maryland, and this was back in the day, in like the 1800s maybe, where he would go to the town, he'd kidnap a kid every so often, and he would, I guess he started with kidnapping 2, but what would happen was would torture one of the kids while one was in the corner watching, and then when the first kid he tortured would die, he would go get another one, and then the kid who was in the corner would be tortured, and then the kid he just got would stand in the corner, and it was like a cycle, which is pretty scary. pretty scary story that always stuck with me when I was doing my research with the Blair Witch. That's like that corner sort of thing where you see them at the end.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much some of the fun facts. We totally skipped the plot of the movie though. We were supposed to say the plot then the fun facts, but the fun facts were so cool though. But do you want to roughly just tell them what you thought, like plot wise, like what it was?
Like what happened?
Or do you want to read something, or what do you think you could go off the top of your head? You're pretty good at going to the top of your head sometimes.
Yeah, you can just read it.
Okay.
Do a better job.
I can go off the top of my head. All
Okay.
right. So, 3 people, Josh, Heather, and Michael. They create a project, and Heather is the lead of this project. She's the one who thought of it all. They go to Maryland, or Burkesville, I think it's called, Maryland, and then they start talking to the people of the town, telling them that they're there. They're going to be shooting a project on the Blair Witch, the myth, and everybody's at the town's like, ooh, that's a scary one, watch out, this and that. So they go to the forest, and they're there for a couple, I think 1 or 2 nights, and then they start getting lost. And Michael starts to get upset at Heather because she's the one with the map and all that, and Michael ends up kicking the map into the ravine one night, and now they're really lost, and they're fighting, they're bickering, they're out of food, and it's getting really bad. And then throughout this, they start to see like weird things in the forest, like sticks placed together, rocks placed in forms that like a human would place them in. So it's like, you're out in the forest and you're starting to see something being like, it's like created by a human being. There's somewhere like around, there's somebody around. Yeah. So they start getting scared and all that. They start hearing things in their nights while they're sleeping in their tent, screams and all that type of stuff. So now they're really on edge. They're low food and they're scared and they're lost in the forest. Now we're at the middle of the movie where middle end where Josh gets picked off now. So like you hear Josh screaming in the woods one night. They can't find him. They wake up the next morning and they find his like teeth and his gums wrapped up in a like a cloth t-shirt or something. Yeah, and I don't think I said this one yet, but that was another fun fact where Michael was actually supposed to be the first one killed, but supposedly Josh had some conflicts with the other 2 actors, so they actually killed him off first, but he was supposed to be the last one with Heather. So yeah, Josh gets booted out because he doesn't like being on sets, and they kill him off, and Heather and Michael are by themselves. They find a little like crazy scary house in the middle of the forest. It's like the first thing they see in the last 4 days, so they go. Well, they're like hearing Joshua. Joshua screaming and all that. Yeah. So they go in and pretty much they hear him in there. They're running around, and the Blair Witch is supposedly in there. We never see her, but I guess when you do see her as the character, you get whipped into the corner and you got to face the corner. And yeah, this is where I think it's a mix of those 2 stories where we had this witch named Ellie from back in the 1700s, and this killer who used to make his people watch while staring in the corner or whatever, and they mash these 2 things up because it's seems like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the movie. It ends like that. They're never seen again, and they're just 3 missing kids in the forest. And yeah, they did a really good job. I thought it was super freaky.
I feel like it messed up. Well, not messed up, but traumatized in a fun way a lot of our generation.
Definitely.
Because we grew up being 7, 8 when that came out.
Yeah. It traumatized me. I was like, holy moly, what is going on here?
Every time I went camping, I was like, is this going to be it? Is this the time that I die?
Yeah. And then the reason why they can't get out of the forest is because supposedly they're not in the same realm or dimension anymore. So once you're in the witch's, I guess, forest or area or whatever, you're, I guess, transported or brought into... I was going to say,
how did that happen? Did they stumble across the rocks, and once they found that first rock pile? Because I think that was the first thing they saw was a rock pile.
Yeah.
Then that was it?
That was
sort of game over?
Yeah, they're stuck in the forest. They're on a continuous time loop until they reach the building. The home where they have to be I guess I don't know what happens to them. They get their souls sucked out of them. I don't know what goes on, but they do talk about it more in the second movie from 2016, which we are gonna watch and review as well. I only watched that movie once in theaters a long time ago, and it didn't get the best criticism, but I liked it, so I'd
Are we watching
to
that
watch
next?
it again. Yeah, I'm down to watch that next. Yeah, finish off the Blair Witch, because there's also a movie that came out in like the early 2000s, but it was absolute trash. It was like the book of the Blair Witch, but it was so bad. So we're not gonna watch that. I remember watching that with Mike, and I was like, oh, this is not good.
I will say the ending for this movie, like, although I like it and I have really no critique for the movie because I think I'm just like, I grew up with it, so I'm super biased. But I think the ending, if a movie were to do that now, or even some of the other things they did, I think I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
I think the ending would have sucked because it's just like you see the person in the corner and then the camera falls and then nothing.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what? That's it? But I really like how they did it. But maybe they were the only ones that can get away with it, and then that's it. Like no one else can do it, kind of thing.
They really hid the mystery, which was great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. So we're gonna jump into some of our own opinions on the movie. Would you like to go first?
Sure. I feel like my review and everything isn't very good because I grew up with the movie, so I really like it. But maybe if I saw it now, I'd be like, this is garbage. But do you want me to give like the rating first, and then I can?
Yeah. Do your rating, your review, whatever you want.
Well, I feel like I've kind of reviewed it as we talk, so I'll just say my rating.
Yeah.
I probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah.
That's not bad.
I'm teetering between 8 and 8.5. I want to say like, 8.5. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
I do 9 out of 10. It's definitely one of my higher rating movies in my movie lifetime of rating movies. I love the Blair Witch Project, always has since a kid. I agree with you though, like I think it's one of those things that's very nostalgic for me. Like when I think of the Blair Witch, I think of the 90s to early 2000s. I think of better times in life, I think of all that type of stuff. So I really enjoyed the Blair Witch. It is a freaky movie. I like how they really wrap up the mystery inside of it. And I don't know, like it's one of those movies where if it did come out this day and age, of course it would not get the love that it received back in the day, but I do think it would still be an effective found footage movie, only because the pacing. Like the pacing was perfect. The pacing was absolutely perfect. Like you could watch this movie over and over again and it doesn't get boring because again, the pacing is very, like it just flows. Like you meet the actors or the characters, they get to the location and they're talking to other people about it, which takes 10 minutes. Then they're at the forest and in 20 minutes they're already at their house to the forest with a lot of information in between. And then now you're in the forest, they're walking around, they start fighting, they start hearing shit, stuff starts going crazy, and then there's the end. And it's super fluent, which is nice. I feel like movies now, if they were to recreate this, there's just a lot of drama. Like they're gonna stick with the drama. Like
there'd be like a love triangle or something. There'd probably be like a slight nude scene or something. Yeah. There'd be phones out and like people be on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd probably extend also the end when it gets like really intense. They'd probably drag that on and make it more. They would just like do more shit and have it be like okay like. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this one was good. Like it was pretty quick, but like it still felt like you were being towed along.
Yeah,
if that
it was
makes sense.
A perfect runtime. That's why I think that if it did come out in this day and age, it would still do good. Again, not as well. It wouldn't be no iconic movie, but it would do well.
But I find a lot of movies now when they come out and they're more of that style, they're more the like indie style, I'll say. Yeah. Like that would probably be indie style. Found footage, indie, whatever. I feel like stuff like that now, when it's done like that, the acting is absolutely terrible. I agree. They find terrible actors, but like with this one, it's
these people were pushed.
Found footage, and the acting is very believable. Like I could see myself being like that, like annoyed at everybody, and kind of just showcasing my actual personality. Where I'm like arguing with people when I think I'm right, and like. Yada yada, or like when I realize that I've made a mistake, talking to the camera and like crying and saying like this is my fault. Like I feel like that's something that wouldn't happen now. Like it just, I don't know. I
agree.
So well done.
I think the found footage, like if you're gonna do found footage, you need to let the actors run with it. Like you can't have them scripted and
So
found
scripted,
footage.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
it looks put together.
It
like
does,
it looks
yeah.
too put together because it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I haven't watched a found footage movie that I liked in a long time. Some of these ones that I'm going to list off were influenced by the Blair Witch Project, and these were actually some of my favorites. So like Rec 1 was
What's that?
was influenced. It's like another found footage movie.
About a wreck?
No, it's like Quarantine, where there's like a monster or a creature that's there's like a disease that are turning people into creatures, and like the movie's shot in like this tight location, like this apartment building, and it's like quarantine. Like there's one other movie called Quarantine. I haven't watched Rec in so long. It's just one of them I saw, but Quarantine was another one which I really loved, and yeah, it was just like you have this guy's like quarantined in a building, and the people on the outside don't know what's going on, but the people on the inside are being like killed by this savage mutated person, and like they're sending like firefighters and cops in there, but then they're getting like dismembered. It's crazy. Cloverfield, which is another one of my favorites that I want to watch and do a episode on. Chronicle, which another great film, and even Project X, which isn't even a horror, but also influenced by the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, I didn't know they were.
So yeah, that's some cool thing. And let's see. So our reviews were basically 8.5/9 out of 10. Let's see what reviews the Blair Witch Project got from everyone else in the world. So Blair Witch Project. All right, so I always like starting with IMDb and all that, and then going to the Google one because I love the Google. So, IMDb gave the Blair Witch Project a 6.5 out of 10.
Ew.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 86%.
Nice.
And Common Sense gave it a 3 out of 5. I don't even know what Common Sense is, but
Boo.
Common Sense Media. And the Google users gave it a 79%, which isn't actually the highest of most. Like usually Google, if I don't like a movie, or if I like a movie and all the ratings are bad, Google's always got my back with a high rating. But yeah, this one seems a little bit lower too, so 79%. But yeah, it was definitely ominous, raw, and chilling as reason why to watch it, as Google says. Yeah, thought it was a great movie. Definitely worth a watch. Here's that movie poster. I'll go show you guys the movie poster somewhere here, somewhere there.
That seems so legit. This picture, for some reason,
With
or these
Michael
two are
and
like very
Joshua,
much like missing pictures.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, eh? They did a great job. So, and that's probably the director's phone number at the bottom. any information, please call. So yeah, that's our review on the Blair Witch Project. We're going to do number 2 as well. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Any more things you want to talk about for the Blair Witch?
Oh yeah, there was just one like little thing that I just liked about it. Again, with like the being raw and like real while they're filming it. When even at near the end when she was putting her backpack on, her hair was stuck, and she was. I don't know, she was just like putting her backpack on and she's like all upset. She's like, my hair's stuck. And then she like got it out and just got out. I was like, yeah.
Little things like that.
It's funny because when she was picking up, I was like, wouldn't that be really heavy and hard to do? Like, I feel like that would get caught on something. And then her hair got stuck and I was like, yes, that would happen.
It was amazing. It's so real.
That was funny. Yeah.
Like Google just said, raw. Raw.
Yeah.
Ominous.
Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So, yeah, do you want to end it off with movies we're looking forward to? I'm guessing you did not look up any movies that you're looking forward to. Beetlejuice?
Yeah, Beetlejuice. I want to see that. I mean, it's kind of I don't know, maybe I'm just being rude, but I'm not excited that Jenna Ortega's in it just because I feel like...
No, I'm not either.
When I see her now, I just think Jenna Ortega. I don't think her character.
Yeah,
which
she's become that person.
Yeah, the whole point is to watch someone be a specific character. Yeah. Anyway, so...
That's what happens when you're used too much in the, like, she was pushed, and it's not even that she's pushed too much in the movie world, it's that, like, the media has pushed her too much too, and, like, fanboys and all that, like, she's just the talk of the town, and she's not in a lot of content, like, you know, she's in Wednesday, she's in really Projects, or X Projects, I don't know, the one from A24 that I didn't like that everyone loves.
Oh, I forgot. Scream. Sorry.
Yeah, she's in Scream. So she's in some big movies, but she's not like, she's not like 10, 15 movies deep yet
But it's
into
just
her
to the
career.
point where like she's a household name. It's like seeing
that's why.
Angelina Jolie in something. I know she's been in a lot, but it's like at the point where like I know who she is. Like I need a new face, otherwise I don't see you as the character I see you as you.
Yeah, it's been enough time for Angelina to maybe come back and do one role, but yeah, she is. Even if she came back, she's still Angelina Jolie. Yeah. You know what I mean? She is too big.
It's done.
And Jenna's getting to that point at such a young age, though. Like, she's so young and has so much career ahead of her, but she's, I think, ruining herself because she's just way too much in the spotlight.
Or at least for us.
Take yourself out of that spotlight.
Other people like to see people and stuff like that, which I don't understand. Because then you're not watching the movie for the movie. You're just watching this person because you like this person. Which I guess is fine. You can do whatever you want, but... No, isn't the whole point of the movie to get involved in the movie mentally?
Exactly. No, I totally agree. Like I think Neve Campbell did it great with Scream. Like she was in Scream. She was in a lot of movies back in the early 2000s. But I don't know. Like she didn't come off as like media played back in the day. Even though we didn't have Instagram and stuff back in the day, like there were a lot of celebrities like Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt. Even Denzel Washington, like they were very high in the media back in the day. Even though Denzel's my favorite actor, like greatest actor alive. But
that's probably what they all want because that pushes you forward. That gets you more money, gets you more jobs. So like they like that. It's just for people like us who don't want to see them. We want to see
24/7.
Yeah.
And characters can ruin you too. Like Harry Potter. What's that Harry Potter name?
I don't even know. Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Radcliffe. Like
that's all he's
Harry Potter.
He's Harry Potter forever.
Care. Forever. Like I watched this Jungle movie with him the other day. I'm like, what's Harry Potter doing in the jungle? Like, why doesn't he just Alakazam this guy out of here? So he's so he's also stuck in that role for sure.
Yeah.
But so Beetlejuice, that's pretty cool. I'm excited for that too. I know, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Jenna Ortega as well, I'm slightly excited to see her in Beetlejuice just because she's got that Tim Burton essence to her, that Johnny Depp. Like, she is a female Johnny Depp. Like, you know what I mean? She gives me that female Johnny Depp vibe. She's got a very resting bitch face, and Johnny Depp had that as well back in the day, and he kind of still does. He's just and Jenna's the same way, just has that face. And I'm super excited to see, oh my gosh, she's also a huge actor and I really, really like her, but I can't remember her name. She's going to be in Beetlejuice. She was in the first one.
Oh my gosh, and she's in the Stranger Things. Yep. I forget her name.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder.
I don't know.
But yeah, her.
No clue how to say her name, but she's a great actor. I'm very excited for her. And my movie is going to be, I don't know, I've chosen a lot of movies the past couple things and there hasn't been much more releases to come out. So I'm going back to Alien Romulus. It's my most highly anticipated movie of the year. I am super excited for it.
When is it supposed to come out?
August. And we will be not front row, not back row, but middle to back, best seats in the house, IMAX. Yes, please.
Yeah.
That's our episode for today, The Blair Witch Project. Next week we'll be reviewing The Blair Witch Project from 2016 and put this Blair Witch Project sequel to rest.
Yes.
Let us know what you guys thought of The Blair Witch Project in the comments below. Let us know if you guys want us to review any particular movies. If I see something in the comments that pops out I haven't watched yet or I haven't watched in a long time that I really like, maybe we'll pick it. Same with you. If you see something that somebody comments, maybe we'll choose it. And that's the episode for this week.
Okay.
All right.
See you next time.
Peace.